Dexter Booth, co-author with Ken Stroud of Engineering Mathematics, Advanced Engineering Mathematics, and Foundation Mathematics. Well, the Engineering Mathematics book starts at the beginning. It starts with the definition of what a number is, what a whole number is, then a negative number, then a rational number, then an irrational number. It does the whole gamut from the beginning. Doesn't labour the point, but at least gives any student who's deficient, who doesn't understand what a prime number is, for instance, or a factor, or a common factor, it's all there. If you don't need to do that, move on. Take a further part in the programme. But I guarantee that any programme, pretty well any student would find something of interest. The way the book works, its structure, the delivery, and the way it's written engages the reader, makes the reader curious about what's coming next, and you end up interested. So if you get someone for whom, in many situations, mathematics is a chore, it's something they've got to pass in order to get through this engineering, stay on this engineering course, you suddenly find, hey, this is great, I can do this, it isn't difficult, once you've practiced. And this is the way the book communicates with the reader. The personal tutor, which emulates the book, but doesn't copy it in its entire delivery, but gets the student to do what the book tries to get the student to do. And of course, if you're stuck, the full work solutions are there. So you can find out why you couldn't do what you couldn't do, which is as important as getting it right sometimes. How exactly do you approach your subject? And are your students having difficulties, generally or specifically? Do you find your grades at the end of the year are pretty disappointing? The exam papers that you mark are pretty disappointing because there are bits and pieces that are right and there are lots of bits and pieces that are wrong. The students are confused, don't really see the maths that you're getting over as part of a whole. The principle of the engineering maths books is they take the student by the hand and work them through each individual phase of a mathematical situation. If the student succeeds, that's fine, they move on to the next task. Otherwise, they repeat it. Well, the difference between Stroud and Tony Croft's book is the way it is structured. It's structured in frames, each of which is numbered. And though the numbers aren't actually referred to very often in the book, they do provide the elephant in the room. You know where you are in this particular bit of information that's being conveyed. So that's the first thing. Also, Tony Croft's tried to emulate what we do with regard to here's a problem and here's one exactly like it to solve yourself. It doesn't have that structure. There are no lines between frames. It's just a totally different way. It's a traditional textbook, really, with an attempt to emulate what Stroud does, but in my view, it doesn't succeed. If you really want to know what Stroud is like, go onto Amazon and read the reviews. You won't find a maths textbook with A as many or B as many stars. 5-star reviews. It's all there. And that tells you exactly, how successful the book is as far as the students are concerned. This book's been in print since 1970 in its various editions. It's now in its 7th edition. And it's sold over 500,000 copies simply because it works.